Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Financial Deviant channel. I put up a post the other day where I basically indicated that the fact that people are excited about receiving a large tax refund is probably an indication that they may not understand fully the time value of money. And I think there's some truth to that. Probably 1 or 2 days after I put up that post, um, or a few days after I put up that post, I actually completed one of my son's tax return. And when I finished it, I kind of assumed that it probably didn't turn out the way he had talked about it might turn out, and that he might be a little disappointed. And no matter how old they get, I'm still dad, so I want to kind of break the fall a little bit. So I went into this explanation of why he shouldn't be so disappointed. Why he should be happy, because it just means that he actually kept just about the right amount of money all year that he should have kept. And I explained to him that if you'd have gotten back a large refund, that just would have meant that that's money that you could have used throughout the year to better your own situation, instead of giving the government a an interest-free loan. So after I finished with my explanation, he definitely felt better. He understood it. I said, "Look, there are people who are much older than you who still don't fully understand it. So if you understand it, you're ahead of the game." So that's the basically the topic of this particular short video. It's like, how should we be thinking about that? How should we be thinking about those large refunds? Should we be excited, or should we be disappointed? You tell me. You tell me. Um, but I did want to show this little article that I found that on the topic, and it's about it's by Northwestern Mutual, and it's talking about key takeaways. A big tax return means you loan the government your money interest free. Directing your tax refund toward retirement, emergency savings, or paying down debt may be a better use of that money. And if you're repeatedly, year after year, getting a large tax refund, that probably means you need to adjust your tax withholdings. And I've told my wife on more than one occasion, my goal is to 1 year have it come out to be zero, where I don't, the net that I owe or the net that I receive back is zero. That's my goal. Um, Gotten closer and closer a few times. I haven't absolutely accomplished that yet, but that's where I would love to be. So here it is: 3 ways to put your money to better use. So this goes back to, it says in 2022 the average refund was $2,800. So here it is: when you let the government sit on a $2,800 for up to 12 months, you're giving up a huge opportunity for savings. What if, instead of waiting for the IRS to refund you your overpayments, you bumped up your 401k contributions by 1% or 2? That would be a much better use of that money. Um, Bump up the 401k contributions. That can have a huge difference, or make a huge difference, um, when you do that several years in a row. Build up your emergency fund. There it is. Great way to use that money. If you don't have one, an extra $233 a month would help start to fill yours out. So that $2,800 will go a long ways towards um, emergency fund. Here it's talking about paying a medical bill, some kind of car expense. And the third one, of course, is paying down debt. An extra $233 a month could help to pay off debt, to get yourself, pay off credit card debt. Um, so there are just so many things we can use, ways we can use that money that far exceed the benefit of receiving a large tax refund. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on that. How many of you agree with me? How many of you absolutely disagree with me? How many of you use that tax refund as a way to, um, say, start an emergency fund, pay off debt every year? Are you using a large tax refund in that way? If you're doing that, I mean, that's not horrible if you're doing that. But I just know so many people that are, they're looking to buy a car. And if you need a car, buy a car. But they're using that money in a way that just feels good to them at the moment, that doesn't help them improve their financial picture, that doesn't help put them in a better situation to, um, look out for themselves in those latter years where you may not be able to work anymore, or you may not want to work anymore. I saw a survey the other day where a significant percentage of people uh, retire earlier than they plan to, and a lot of it's because of health issues. So that's the kind of stuff we have to think about. And I know the large refund feels good. Listen, I've been there. I, I have been there. Feels pretty good. But when I learned that, hey man, I could use that money throughout the year, my thinking, my perspective on that change. And a lot of times that's all it takes is a change in perspective. When you talk about the time value of money, the assumption is money received today is going to be much more valuable than that same money received next year. Because the assumption is if you receive it today, you're going to put it to work for you today. You're going to allow compound interest to start working on your behalf. So that's why I say when I talk about understanding the time value of money, the S&P 500 earned like 25% last year in 2024. You could have used that growth in the market to improve your financial picture if it had been invested instead of letting Uncle Sam have it interest free. Anyway, thank you guys. What do you think about that? And as I always want to remind you, don't forget to like and share, turn on the notifications so that whenever I put something up, if you're interested, if this kind of information appeals to you, I love to have you follow me. And I told somebody the other day, when you're talking about this kind of stuff, I think a lot of people can talk about it. I think a lot of people know that it sounds right, and they know that they should be doing something different than what they're doing. But it is much more appealing, unfortunately, uh, for people to just spend money to get that rush, that temporary rush of dopamine. Um, that's much more exciting than actually investing that money, delaying some gratification in order to prepare yourself for the future, or in order to better prepare yourself for the future. I get that. And that's why I say I would probably never have a huge following, because this is stuff. That's why the station or the channel is called Financial Deviant, because we're trying to deviate from what large numbers of this society has gotten themselves into, and that's being ultra consumers, being primarily concerned about what looks good now, being primarily concerned about what people say about what you have, or what you own, or what you show them. That's a large part of the issue. So we're just trying to get past that pressure and not put that pressure on ourselves, and be deviants. Deviate from what the masses are doing to put yourself in a better financial situation than the masses, quite frankly. So, talk to you guys soon. Looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.